In this video, I'm going to share why I think social media could be the reason why you're not growing as a creative, or I'd even argue as a person in general. So at the beginning of this year, what was initially meant to be a 30-day break from Instagram quickly became a reality check for me. If you are a regular social media user, which is if you spend at least 2 hours on average per day, there are several dangers that come with it. The first danger is mindless scrolling. You know how you sit for hours scrolling away? The user interface of social media apps is made to be so addictive that it's actually proven to cause mental issues that can lead to anxiety and or depression. The constant pounding of images and videos creates the illusion of endless possibilities, career-wise, social life, personal goals, and so on. And this all leads to a sense of FOMO, the fear of missing out. I think the reason why we ignore the severity of the danger is because we generally think we are in control. But if I were to put it into perspective, I would say lost productivity is the obvious, tangible, and measurable danger of mindless scrolling. But there's an invisible danger which has to do with anxiety and depression. You cannot accurately measure the damage, and that damage will likely last way longer after you've left the app. And anxiety and depression are some of creativity's worst enemies. The second danger that became very apparent only a few days into my break: when you do something consistently enough, your body will begin to remember those actions and start to perform them without any conscious effort, also known as muscle memory. Even though I had completely logged out of my personal account, I found myself regularly unlocking my phone throughout the day, every day, and somehow I would end up opening the Instagram app for no reason. Like, I would literally just open it. It's as if I completely went blank until I was already in the app and then realized, oh, by the way, I'm taking a break. The third danger is if I regularly consume a lot of content on social media, it actually leaves me a worse creative over time. I'd go as far as arguing that it makes me a worse human being in general. And that is thanks to information overload. Again, the constant pounding of images and videos as you scroll endlessly keeps piling information on your mind. It's proven that information overload makes the human mind confused and unsure, which can lead to poor decision making and apparently memory loss as well. And if we were to be honest, majority of the time you actually don't find anything remarkable or life-changing as you spend hours scrolling. Yeah, you might find some funny videos or some inspirational podcast, but rarely will you find something truly remarkable as far as changing your life towards your destiny. And most times it may leave you confused and unsure of yourself as a creative. If I were to draw a pattern of the three things that I just shared, it would look something like this. If you regularly spend a lot of time on social media, you are likely to suffer from anxiety and possibly depression. And unfortunately, your body will create muscle memory that unconsciously takes you back to that same source of anxiety and depression every day. This is why you might find that every moment you become bored or have nothing to do, instead of picking up a camera, a pen, an instrument, or whatever you use to create, you end up on some social media app for no reason. And you might argue that, yeah, you'll be looking for tutorials and some inspiration to help you get better at your craft, but it also potentially only leaves you anxious and unwilling to actually try to create anything because your mind's getting overloaded with all this information and endless possibilities. And this is how the dynamism of your mind, creativity, doesn't grow. When you are heavily and rapidly pounded by endless possibilities, you begin to want to achieve everything at the same time. When you're constantly following hundreds or even thousands of people, you have a fear of missing out on what others are doing. You potentially stop to live in the moment, and you potentially stop to live and create for you. So what am I saying? It seems I am saying that social media only makes us worse creatives. Well, for the most part, no. In fact, social media in general is not bad, but just like anything, your usage of it is what might be bad for you. Muscle memory is a habit issue, and habits can be changed. It takes time, but it can be done. On average, apparently, it can take up to 10 weeks to break a habit, but that can be less or more depending on what you struggle with and your likelihood to change. So for me, it's really been to intentionally measure and control my interaction with the apps like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube until I feel like the cycle has been broken. And of course, like many people, I can't completely disappear from social media because I also run my business pages. And that is one thing that social media is good for, business. But I think the significant thing is to gain conscious control over what you do with your time on social media. And information overload can be avoided. Apps these days, not only Instagram, intentionally manipulate the obsessive human desire to see patterns and finish them. Case in point, an endless scroll paired with the desire to see what everyone else is doing, which is partially from a fear that if I don't know what others are doing, then I'll be left out, which is the biggest deception. And that's what leaves you scrolling for hours. In fact, I would say the less you focus on what others are doing, the more space you make for yourself to do something. And the more you will think and do what's natural to you and not everyone else. If you agree with all I've said, and maybe you also feel like you need to take necessary steps to control your social media usage, here are some of the practical things that I've started doing. The first one is turn off all notifications. Notifications are like a fish hook with the juiciest worm ever, and we are the dumb fish. We almost always fall for the trap. You don't need to know who has liked your picture or who has posted a new story every single time or who has joined Instagram for the first time. You can honestly check that later, or you don't even need to know really. Don't fall for the fear that if you turn off notifications, then you'll miss out on an important, life-changing notification that is time sensitive. Even if you run a business page, it's actually okay. This is why in business, people already respond to emails immediately, and sometimes not even the same day or week. There's a pace to life and your mind, and certain things are not meant to be consumed at instant rapid rates. It's actually way easier, if you think about it, to dedicate a specific time to go through your social media and respond to all the important messages. The second thing is delete apps you don't need on your phone. So some months ago, I got rid of apps like Twitter and Facebook from my phone. If I really need to use the apps, then I can access them on my computer. It's just that extra step that kills the desire to even open the app. The problem with having stuff on your phone is that it's easily accessible. In a matter of seconds, you just have access. Whilst that is the reason why we have phones and we love them, it's also a danger because it's easy access to stuff like social media, right? The third thing is use settings like downtime for iPhone or use something similar for Android. It really helps to keep the discipline. It's like an extra barrier to break that muscle memory cycle when you can choose which apps automatically go offline when it's nighttime or it's early in the morning, or when you've gone for a vacation or something like that. It's just like an extra barrier that really helps. And lastly, follow only the people that actually inspire you or feed into your creativity, or family members. Don't follow people so that they follow you back or so that you can spy on their lives for no reason apart from liking things. Don't follow people from a fear of missing out. I hope this video was somewhat helpful. Please let me know in the comments down below what your experiences are with social media apps, and if you agree with me with regards to all that I've said. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on more content like this. My name is Z, and see you on the next one.